Ve'ashalem et sonai al panav. Something like, I don't get the exact words, but I will pay back those who hate me to their face. I got this amazing download of the whole, like, everything. It's in one simple download. I couldn't believe it. It's everything, but I don't know if I want to do it now. So anyway. So on that verse, I will pay back those who hate me to their face. What does that mean? So Rashi explains, I will give them in this life, I will give them all the reward coming to them, but they will not have the next life, the world to come. Whereas those who love me and who I love, I'll make it hard for them in this world, but they will have the full reward in the world to come, in eternity. It goes even deeper than that. That's just the first thing I want to say. Let me think for a second. One of the great masters, somebody came to him and said, I wasn't religious and I was doing great. I had everything, the car, everything, the business, everything. I was like a millionaire. And all of a sudden I said, okay, I want to start being religious. And I lost this and I lost that and I lost this and why is this happening? So his answer was, because until now they were, so to speak, just giving you everything you needed because they didn't care for you, because you weren't on the road. But now that you're on the road, now they are interacting with you in a real way. And yes, life is hard, but I want you to see it in the right way, that you're now being given the chance to lift up to your true potential. That was just games. That was just candy. They gave you the candy. And in a sense, it was in order to mislead you that you had everything you needed. Heaven will interact with a person in various different ways. They'll give a person all the rope they want. Wow, that's scary. Usually the people have a lot of the money, not all of them, but they don't even know what to do with it, and they just do the wrong thing. Okay, they'll give some charity here and there, but I don't want to judge. I just want to say that if there is a loss, God forbid, and there shouldn't be, and we shouldn't have to go through that, but if things start to happen, we shouldn't lose our faith or think, oh no, I'm being punished. No, this is true interaction between us and heaven. And that's the best I can do right now. It's a good one, and it needs to be treated more. Yes. But in my own life, I feel that it's I've had some real disappointments. I said about the prayer book that I translated, and the guy more or less basically spit in my face. And I went to rabbis and I said, how can he do this? And one rabbi said, you have a claim in heaven, but down here there's nothing you can do because he paid you. I said, that's not what the halacha should be. A claim in heaven, of course it's a heavenly claim, but a heavenly claim has power here also. He says, nothing we can do. He paid you. Whatever. So I tore my shirt. I did something like when somebody dies. I tore my shirt. I felt that something had been taken away from me. But truthfully, in the end, after all is said and done, 20 years later, when I'm doing the work now and I'm translating these books the way I can now, I'm saying thank you so much for not having it come out back then, because it was like nothing compared to what I can do now. And sometimes it has to be looking backwards, retroactively, to what happened so we can make peace. And I'll tell you a very deep thing about this, because this is now closer to what I want to say. But okay, I just want to repeat what I just said. That sometimes, in order for us to make peace with things that have happened to us, and I'm not talking about somebody else. Somebody else is, we have to be there with them when they're going through it and help them. But in terms of my own self, well, I've gone through hard times. Well, the philosophy is, okay, I know it's for my good, but it hurts. We need time. We need time. So we need to be able to have hindsight. And now when I look back at my life, I definitely see, can you hear it? It's important for us to be able to look back. And therefore, if I can look back now on what has happened then, then I want to be able to at least theoretically know that when it's all over and done, I'll be able to look back and I'll be able to see that there's a reason for everything. And God will reveal that reason. So even now, therefore, even though I don't know all the reasons, I want to be able to say, Hashem, whatever you do, I'm with you. I believe in you. And if I've had to go through that or have that loss, it must be because you know more than I do, and you know what had to happen. We have always the wherewithal of prayer, and we can ask that things shouldn't happen, that we shouldn't have to suffer, or that our loved ones shouldn't. Prayer is very important, and it works. Mm-hmm. But what if something does happen? Mm-hmm. You see sometimes people in Israel, their son was killed by a terrorist or whatever, and you see like giants of the spirit. Our son was a great man, and we know that it must have been his time, and he's up there. My cousin, one of my cousins is the same name as mine. His name was Avraham Sutton, and he was killed in a terrorist attack. Young 17-year-old boy. Wow, what a funeral procession that was. I was so moved by the way they eulogized him and how his soul is going very high. And the procession, long procession of buses all the way to where he lived in Shiloh, where the Mishkan used to be. And then the young people there, and how I just love these young people and how they were real. And they were mourning for their friend who had been killed. But they were all sticking together and holding hands and crying together. What a privilege to be a part of a people who has such a spirit that death cannot shatter our faith. So suffering is always going to be a difficult thing for all of us. Our own suffering or other people's suffering. Of course, we don't want to be like Job's friends. Job, you must have done something wrong. I mean, people don't suffer like this without having done something wrong. Job, stop denying that you must be. I mean, come on. No, we don't want to be Job's friends.